On today's episode of Phinside The NFL, we are going to recap Day 5 of Miami Dolphins Training Camp as the pads come on. But the snapping issues, they were rough today, so we will talk about that. Also, is Ethan Bonner primed to be the breakout player at training camp this year? We will discuss all of that. Tua makes the top 100 NFL players list, higher than last year, much higher than last year. We'll talk about that. Also, Tyreek joins the 99 club with Madden. We'll discuss Weaver. So much to go over today. Do me the favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new, and as always, let's get into this one.
Loses the football. Touchdown! Got it! You have got to be kidding me. Jalen Waddle has a Dolphin touchdown. And he will score! Field down the near side, man open. Touchdown! The run from Tua Tagovailoa. Touchdown! He's going deep. It's not over the touchdown again.
Beautiful day to be a Dolphin fan. Let's go! What is good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and we are back here for another one. Appreciate all y'all for coming through today. Man, I hope everyone is having a fantastic start to their week as, hey, Monday is here. All right, this time next week, I will be in Miami for training camp. So next week I'll be down for the joint practices with the Atlanta Falcons. So appreciate all y'all coming through. As you do me the favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. All right, let's get that algorithm up. All right, so smash it as you come through. Shout out to everyone who already has come through. See y'all already showing up in the chat. Appreciate each and every one of you, from Robert Thomason to Kyle Swan to Russell Swan to Kyle, Jason Keck, Omar Brown, Pro Special Andrew Harris, Woodson B Rob, Pro Special Aladino Mass, Timothy Washington. Appreciate all of y'all for coming through on this Monday. Russell in the house, Ryan AP, Lpad, Jason Stamps, Scotty Joe 22, Coach AJ, James Steele, Chuck Fins Up. What's going on? Tori Dixon, Woodson, Charles Hilton, Tony T as well, Jay Ratner, Kevin Williams, Luke Stokes, New Attitude, Denisha, Jeffrey Ward, Wayne Phillips, PL, what's going on? Filet Mignon, Aragon, John West, Coke Master D, Steve V. I smell that Super Bowl, B-Rob. You already know what time it is. John Grant, all the best from Scotland. Appreciate you for tuning in all the way over there. Thank you so much from across the pond. We got a lot to go over today. We're going to break it all down. Training camp pads came on today. Before we do, I do have a few things I want to talk about. What's up, Wayne D? How you doing? If you didn't see absolute disaster today at Jets camp, if you didn't have a chance to check it out, Aaron Rodgers was out here yelling at players on the sidelines. It was just, defense dominated the day. Apparently the Jets offense looked really, really bad today. We're talking sacks, right? The pads are on over there too. Rodgers was sacked on back-to-back snaps, and then he was during one possession. Then later on in the red zone, sacked again. The practice ended with the defense sacking Tyrod Taylor. You know what I mean? We're having snap issues. Joe Tippmann was having bad snapping issues today too. He's throwing off the timing of plays and stuff like that. Rodgers got intercepted today, right? But apparently it was a good pass to Allen Lazard. So yeah, Rodgers was out here just yelling at people, getting in their faces. So, hey man, listen, I say all that to say this. Right? It's practice. This is why these teams practice. You want to shake off the cobwebs. You want to get all the kinks worked out during these months. So listen, I don't just say this for Dolphins when things don't go right at practice. I'll say it for the Jets. Yeah, sure. It sounds like it's a mitigated disaster over there too today, but at the same time, this is why you practice in July and August, right? So, I'll keep the same energy. That's all I ever do. So, but I love to see it because there's no way this team is going to live up to the expectations. People got more lofty expectations for the Jets than they do for the Dolphins, which is crazy because the Dolphins were 2 weeks away from not just winning their division, but if we would have beat the Ravens and the Jets, we would have won the freaking conference. What are we talking about here? All right. Knight says Bonner and Bell are going to be interesting to watch. Quentin Bell continued making noise. Ethan Bonner made a lot of noise today. And we're going to talk about Ethan Bonner today a few times when we go over the training camp reports. I got a clip I want to play discussing him. Just a lot of, Ethan Bonner. Listen, is what you love to see, right? You don't love to see Cam Smith out, but with Cam Smith out and Ethan Bonner getting opportunities, the kid's stepping up. Love to see that. Love to see that from Ethan Bonner, especially with the speed he's got. You know what I mean? Love to see him stepping up and doing the thing. So, shout out to him. CeeDee Lamb, Pretty Ricky is out here saying CeeDee Lamb, it's looking like he's going to get 136 to 138 million over 4 years. Now, if you do the 136 million, you take the low number over 4 years, that's about 34 million over 4 years. All right. So big money for CeeDee. And if you do the 38, that's about 34 and a half. So right around 35-ish million. And I guarantee you with the way they structure it, one of those years, he's going to have the 35 plus million that he was looking for. So CeeDee Lamb, big money coming his way. Why does this matter? Why am I mentioning it? Well, Tyreek Hill and his new money. All right. Tyreek Hill, he's we all know he already wants new money and he wants to be put up there. And, in the same breath of all these guys with all this new money from Justin Jefferson to CeeDee whenever this happens. Listen, I got my 3 takes episode and my update for channel members is dropping tonight. The third part of that, I talk about new money. What I'm hearing about new money. So, I'm actually going to drop that after this show. So, cause I've got it all written out and recorded. I just had to, do this show. So I'm going to finish it out and drop it. I recorded that today. So I'll be dropping that tonight. After years of, and I talk about what I heard about the Tua deal, how it's consummated, all that kind of stuff. PL, he says, after years of suffering through the toxic hate against Tua, have to see any satisfying sights or sounds from anyone since he signed to share with us. Have I seen any satisfying sights or sounds from anyone since he shared us? Since he signed us? Not really. To be honest with you, the problem here is, have you seen? After years of suffering through the toxic hate against Tua, have you seen any satisfying sights or sounds from anyone since he signed to share with us? No. To be honest with you, man, I was super busy this weekend. I didn't even have a ton of time now. I didn't watch it, but I saw Dan Patrick wasn't happy with what they did. I haven't even checked out Poopar's thoughts on it. I'm not even going to lie. You know what I mean? Like, I know I checked out Doug Lee and what he said, and I know Doug Lee, it's more of a sense of relief. It's over with, right? We can move on with our life. But I haven't really checked out anyone else. I was super busy this weekend. You know, Saturday, my kids went to their grandmother's. It was their first ever sleepover. So, brother, I wasn't on social media. Me and my wife were living our life like before we had kids, baby. So I haven't really had a chance to take a whole bunch of people's in. Now, I know guys like Louis Riddick. I know I saw guys like RG3. They gave two of his props. They were happy that he got signed, et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of like the Tua haters and stuff, I haven't even had time to check in and see, nor do I care. You know? Are these people going to admit they were wrong? All these people who gassed you up and said he's not a franchise quarterback, he'll never lead the league in passing, blah, 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 and he's done all that. See, that's the thing. They moved this goalpost to these cold months because that's the last thing they got. That's literally the last thing they got. They may try to still sell you on that injury stuff, but to an extent, Tua just played a full healthy season, and the one healthy season he plays, he leads the league in passing. What are we talking about? So, here's the thing. This was the validation. This extension was the validation that Tua is a franchise quarterback, and all those people who told you differently were wrong. That's literally what it is. I don't know what else to tell you. This was the validation that all those people were wrong. You think they're going to come out here and admit that? All they're going to do is move a goalpost. Do you think Greer will ever properly... It's not Greer, right? Right now, this is kind of... Listen, you got to hang this one on McDaniel a little bit here. Go back to Chris Forrester. Go look at what Shanahan talks about the offensive line. This is part of their belief in their foundational system. That's the thing. You know, we can't blame Greer on this one. You got to kind of hold the coach accountable for this. This is a foundational belief. Go look at what they do in San Fran. Go listen to Chris Forrester, or go listen to Shanahan talk about their belief with the offensive line. What's happening right now is we're dealing with this is how the system is. That's why you just got to hope that they draft ones that hit. Right? Because I don't see them going out and... Listen. Unless injuries run rampant through the interior, do I see them going out and adding a big-name offensive lineman? Like, for example, Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs wants new money. Him and the Bucks are at an impasse right now. Do I see us going out and trading for Tristan Wirfs? I would. Do you, though? Like, I would go do it. But do you see them doing it? Do I see them doing it? No. They wouldn't go out and trade for Tristan Wirfs. Why? That disrupts the plan. Austin Jackson is their right tackle. Patrick Paul is the future left tackle. Where's Wirfs going to fit? Yes. None of us would choose Austin Jackson over Tristan Wirfs. None of us would. But because of the money they handed out to Austin Jackson and because of his draft status, they will. Now, personally, I'd trade them Austin Jackson, a first-round pick, and one of those tight ends in the room, because I've heard rumblings of them looking at tight ends and stuff. Sure, I'd give that up, but would they? Because then you'd have to turn around and pay them. So, yeah, I don't think they would. That's just the reality of the situation. I don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. I just don't think they would. And I'm just using that as an example. Right? Now, another interesting thing, if you guys didn't get a chance to hear this, the NFL, they are now requiring both coaches to do in-game interviews. So basically, each team has to provide a head coach, one in the first half, one in the second half, and that's for all the teams, and it's available for all TV partners. I mean, we're now mandating that these guys in the heat of battle, in the middle of all this, have to take time out of their schedule to meet with sideline reporters. That's what we're now making, that kind of stuff mandatory. Like, I mean, talk about turning something that should be voluntary at best into a mandatory, you must do. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is, they got their priorities wrong, that's for sure. Stop worrying about that and start, like, I don't know. Stop worrying so much about how you're perceived in the media and start actually changing the perception in the media. And what I mean by that is y'all are worried about making, interviews with coaches mandatory in the first half and the second half when, you should be more worried about, I don't know, making the game safer so you don't have incidents where Tua's on the field like he was a couple years ago, Damar Hamlin, et cetera, et cetera. It's unbelievable. Whatever, to each their own. Smash that like button. Subscribe for new. We're climbing up towards 33, almost 300 of you in the chat. So, yeah. Justice says 30 plus million salary cap. You got to jump through some hoops. I mean, hey, that's how they're getting paid. You ain't wrong. I just never thought we'd get to a point where, like, they're making in-game. I mean, these coaches got to go up in front of the media, and the media can ask any single question they want after the game. Now you got to harass them. Like, and you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. Part of me thinks they're doing it because they want the sound clips. They want the coaches that are going to be irritated and not want to have to put up with this crap. They want those sound clips. Look at this one. Go to the Denver game. You want to imagine if you talk to Mike McDaniel before the game starts, and then second half you want to talk to Sean Payton coming out of, the tunnel after what we were doing to the Broncos. You really think he himself wants to do that interview? I mean, god dang. Perfect. Another example, Dolphins and Bills in that intense game to close out the season. You think McDermott or McDaniel want to go talk to the sideline reporter? Man, they want to focus on what's ahead of them in that game. Hey, whatever. Do whatever you got to do, man. So, all that said, let's get into this. We got some highlights from today. We're going to get into camp itself, and then we got a lot of clips to play. Man, we got a lot to go over today as I sit here and I look at the show outline. So let's go. Let's get into this. No more wasting time. And let's start off with highlights from camp today, okay? Yeah, Todd's right. They need to worry about the officiating first before mandatory interviews. So Zach Sealer, there you go, doing some work, putting some work in, wearing the orange jersey for the day. Love to see it. Look at how big Patrick Paul is. Pause. He is a big human being.
And water right there.
So there's a look at the sideline right there for you. All right, Tua going deep. Oh, just missed him. Just missed him. That was Waddle. Just missed Waddle. Tua again. Over that middle. All day, baby. All day. Look at Tua showing a little nimbleness there. Look at this. Oh, look at that pick. There you go. Kick return. New rules.
Let me tell you.
Here we go here. Tua. Boom. Right over the middle of the field. All day, baby. Notice how they got the camera still on, eh? Wide open. To a nimble, huh? Ooh, to a little nimble. Got a little swagger to his step, a little movement. Love to see it. Man, I can't wait to be down there next week. I'm gonna tell you this much. Ooh, nice throw on the run. 1-by-3 set. Look at Tua moves. Probably would have been sacked there though. Last offseason, I was hyped about Zeke Vandenberg, right? You remember, I know you guys do, Vandenberg was quite the accomplished, you know, he had quite the amount of accomplishments, right? So, listen, I actually think Vandenberg's making, this is the reason why I'm even talking about this, is Vandenberg's been making plays, huh? Like, I don't know if people, you know, have been watching this, but Zeke Vandenberg has been making plays, people. All right? And I remember last year being high on him. I know he got hurt and we didn't get to see him fully, you know, rock out. But man, this Vandenberg kid, he's making some noise, people. All right. Remember, he was the FCS Most Outstanding Defensive Player of the Year. He had 100 tackles in 2022, right? And he had 14 sacks in 2022. So he was balling his last year at college. So I'm very interested to see how. And the problem is he's in a stacked linebacker room. The inside linebacker room has been stacked now, but that's wide open after you get past Anthony Walker, Jordan Brooks, and David Long Jr. I mean, Channing Tindall hasn't made enough plays since he's been here to, you know, deem himself worthy of overlooking a guy like Zeke Vandenberg. If Zeke Vandenberg keeps making plays, man, I would be fine with them moving off of Channing Tindall. Right? Take your wins, man. Take your wins. So, interested to see where Vandenberg, you know, good player, man. Good player, and interested to see. He keeps making plays like this. He's going to make it tough on cut down day for you know, our coaching staff, which you love to see. Love to see. All right. So, let's get into training camp today. And then we'll get into a whole bunch of stuff after that. So, day 5 of the Dolphins training camp report. Who impressed, who didn't, observations. Here's some notes and highlights from day 5 of Dolphins training camp on Monday, the first day in pads. Tagovailoa was sharp, delivering a 15-yarder to River Craycraft to open practice. Then was on the money with a 20-yarder to Waddle, and then connected with Tyreek Hill on a 20-plus yard slant. To begin another 11-11 session, Tagovailoa served up a 15-yard dart to Waddle. This was the Tagovailoa that earned the big contract. Accurate and super quick with his release. On another play, Emmanuel Ogbah broke free on Tagovailoa, but he got the ball off to Alec Ingold for a short gain. Tagovailoa also escaped pressure from Ethan Bonner for another modest completion. Tagovailoa was good but not perfect. He barely overthrew. We saw the throw. He barely overthrew Waddle on a throw that traveled at least 50 yards. Chop Robinson had a pressure on Skylar Thompson that led to a rushed incomplete throw. Meanwhile, Quentin Bell came close to Tagovailoa on another play. It might have been ruled a sack. Bell continues to have a strong camp in his bid to earn not just a roster spot, but a rotation role in the absence of Phillips and Chubb. Rookie Mo Kamara, look at this. Kamara showing up. He had a sack. Let's go, Mo. Cornerback Jason Mater, who he's got a big hill to climb. The undrafted Wisconsin rookie intercepted Mike White on a poor throw. Backup quarterback play remains an issue. Both White and Thompson have been erratic, mixing poor throws with pretty good ones. Thompson had the better day on Monday. On the negative side, Thompson had a pass tip by Zeke Vandenberg that was intercepted by Jalen Ramsey. Vandenberg, who missed his rookie season with an injury, has flashed at inside linebacker. Unfortunately for him, it's Miami's deepest position on defense. Thompson has had 2 exceptional plays on Monday. Chop Robinson might have had a sack on Thompson, but the play continued to deliver a 60-yard deep touchdown to Tyreek Hill. Earlier, Thompson hit Braxton Barris on a crisp crossing pattern. Thompson was off on at least 3 throws. He needed a bit more on touch on a deep throw to Tanner Connor on a play that was broken up by Patrick McMorris. So that's a couple days in a row of McMorris making plays. Few can process and release the ball as quickly as Tagovailoa, but White needs to speed things up. White has showed very nice touch on a 25-yard throw to a diving Braxton Berrios, who was covered tightly. Cornerback Cam Smith, who limped off with the trainer during Sunday's practice, was not seen during today's session. Severity of his injury is still being assessed. Smith, the former second-round pick, had a quiet start to camp, but had been hoping to claim a significant role. He's out. If he's out for a while, that would essentially be a 3-player race among Kader Kohut, Nick Needham, and Bonner for the 3rd through 5th cornerback jobs. Former special teams ace Saren Neal is also expected to be on the team. Bonner had a significantly increased role, with Smith and Connor getting a veteran rest day. Cornerback Kendall Fuller, left tackle Taron Armstead, Calais Campbell, Anthony Walker, Jordan Poyer, and Jonnu Smith all set out practice. The Dolphins continue to selectively give days off to veterans as a preventative or energy conserving measure. Salvon Ahmed and David Long Jr. appear to be nursing some injuries. That's not good for Salvon Ahmed. Jack Driscoll had a couple of mishandled snaps in the first week of camp. Appears that Driscoll and Liam Eichenberg are being cross-trained at backup center. Starting center Aaron Brewer and Tagovailoa had 2 bobbled exchanges today. Not good. Defensive lineman Zach Seiler wore the orange jersey on Monday's practice, an acknowledgement for his work at Sunday's session. Jody Fortson dropped a 30-yard pass from Thompson that could have gone for a very big gain. Tanner Connor has made more plays than Fortson early in camp, but Fortson has a far better career body of work, including 5 touchdown receptions. Defensive tackle Isaiah Mack had another big day. He delivered at least 1 sack, snuffed out an inside running play, and then forced Thompson to throw the ball away on another sequence. Mack has flashed during camp. Defensive tackle Sean Hand had some good moments in the running game. Kendall Lamb indicated this week that he's been working at both tackle spots. He very likely would be the first tackle off the bench ahead of Patrick Paul early in season, and Paul has had an uneven camp. Neville Gallimore had 2 sacks, beating Keon Smith. Offensive line coach Butch Berry coached up Smith after. Right tackle Austin Jackson had a false start and then was beaten by Zach Seiler for a sack. Jalen Wright showed his elite quickness, turning the corner for a 12-yard gain, but Wright also dropped a 5-yard throw from Thompson. Elijah Campbell had a nice run stop on Achane. So a few things here. Number 1, let's talk about the snaps. Apparently, it was a rough day snapping the football. I believe Travis Wingfield tweeted out about, the snaps being an issue today. He said the snap issues have been really bad today. Way too many balls on the ground. So, if Travis Wingfield's saying that, that tells you all you need to know about where the snapping was today. It wasn't pretty by any stretch of the imagination. Like to see Neville Gallimore stepping up. Tier Tart hasn't made much noise. We're all worried about if he's in shape. But Neville Gallimore showing up. And Isaiah Mack. Can we talk about this kid for a second right here? Isaiah Mack is absolutely impressing right now. Listen, right? This guy was an undrafted free agent for Tennessee Titans. He's been bouncing around teams. His longest tenure was with the Titans and the Ravens. He's been bouncing around. He's a practice squad member last year for the Jets and the Commanders, and been bouncing around, and now he's out here making plays. Now, is that an indictment of our offensive line, or is that, him doing good work? Or is it, a combination of both? I don't know. But, this is multiple days we've seen Isaiah Mack popping up and making some noise. So the defensive line, Anthony Weaver is starting to get, and hey, Mo gets a sack today when the pads come on. Grayson Murphy's not making as much noise. Chop Robinson's making noise still, though, which I love to see. The pads come on and Chop's still making noise. Chop's still being an issue. And Ogba still making noise since he arrived. That defensive line, early on, man, they're going to be playing with a lot of confidence come the regular season. They may be a problem. They may be a problem for people. So, I'm just saying. Moving on here with the Sun Sentinel and their report for today. Dolphins start getting physical with first practice in pads. And here's other Monday observations plus the stock up, stock down. The pads were popping Monday morning at Miami Dolphins' 5th practice training camp. It was the Dolphins' first session in pads of camp as NFL rules mandate an acclimation period into that level of contact. The physicality was indeed increased after the Dolphins already went with a run-heavy session in Sunday's 4th practice, the first one open to fans. I can grab anything now, said Kendall Lamb on Sunday, of what incorporation of pads means. We run powers and stuff. I have to sit here and watch you pluck your chest out when you run. He had a specific example that frustrated him from Sunday, and he knows goes differently with pads on. Just like they had a double to the front side, Lamb said. When I climb to Duke, I can actually grab Duke. All that nonsense with my hand, it slips off. I don't do that Monday. So it's going to be completely different. And it was indeed much different Monday. The run game with more physicality for both sides saw the offense and defense each win their share of reps. Much better, said blocking tight end Durham Smythe after Monday drills. I'm not a big fan of playing football without pads. Doesn't suit my strengths very well. If I was fast as Jalen or Tyreek, I would love it, but I prefer having pads on. It's real football. There's real contact. It's more what we all know very well. David Long, who's ramping up his activity, says he likes it as a run and hit player at his position. That's football, he said. Anybody can make plays without pads. It's easier to get through a block. It's easier to call a hole. When pads come on, you get an idea of how a player is, how aggressive they are. So, the top passing highlight of Monday's drills, which had ample 11-11 work, was Skylar Thompson's 61-yard touchdown deep over the top, down the right sideline to star wide receiver Tyreek Hill. The throw was over safety Elijah Campbell and cornerback Ciaran Neal. Tua Tagovailoa attacked the middle of the field effectively with completions to Hill, Waddle, River, Craycraft at the start of 11-11 periods. Tagovailoa tried to find Waddle deep, but it fell incomplete, slightly overthrown and out of Waddle's reach. He also found Julian Hill open down the field, but it was on a play that was allowed to continue after a probable practice sack from Ethan Bonner. Jalen Ramsey had an interception on Skylar Thompson pass after initial deflection by Zeke Vandenberg that ricocheted off another player. Undrafted rookie cornerback Jason Mater intercepted Mike White on a play where he seemed to bait him pretty well. Aside from the big completion to Hill and some other impressive throws, Thompson was inaccurate on multiple throws or threw to an empty space on one occasion, which could have been a miscommunication. Thompson had tight end Tanner Connor open deep, but with too much air on the ball, Connor had to slow down for it, and rookie safety Patrick McMorris closed in for a pass breakup. But another of Thompson's best throws was a rope over the middle through traffic to Braxton Berrios. Defensive tackle Zach Seiler wore the orange jersey as the previous practice's player of the day. He had another solid showing with a practice sack and exhibited some speed getting to Devon Achane on a screen to the outside. Tagovailoa had an instance of escaping pressure, although maybe linebacker Jordan Brooks gets him there if they're tackling. But he extended the play and found Hill as the play continued. Quentin Bell also had a pressure, and Tagovailoa threw to Craycraft for a completion. One of the successful run plays came from Jeff Wilson Jr. up the left side. Defensive tackle Neville Gallimore penetrated for a pressure and a potential sack on one play that resulted in a Thompson dump-off as the play continued. White had an impressive downfield throw to Braxton Berrios for about 20 yards. Here we go. So here's Grayson Murphy. See, we didn't get this in the Miami Herald. Look at this. Outside linebacker Grayson Murphy had multiple pressures and was seen setting the edge well on at least one run play. With the need for edge rushers for the start of the season, the undrafted rookie out of UCLA is making a name for himself and could land a roster spot if he can contribute on special teams. There you go. So Grayson Murphy, Mo Kamara had a sack today. Chop Robinson getting pressures. Let's go. White was sacked by defensive tackle Isaiah Mack, aided by the coverage downfield that had White indecisive while pumping the football earlier. Muhammad Kamara had a sack on White. Jordan Poyer was in a good position to wrap up one early run play as a back got around the edge while Emmanuel Ogbah appeared to be held. Storm Duck showed good pursuit on a run to the outside, running a tailback out of bounds behind the line of scrimmage. Jody Fortson had a drop on a finally thrown pass from Thompson on a corner route. Practice started with undrafted rookie offensive lineman Byron Matos of the Dominican Republic hyping up the crowd in Spanish on the microphone. Another pair then proceeded to hold up Andrew Meyer, the rookie out of UTEP, for a Suedo keg stand. Stock up. Zeke Vandenberg flashed various aspects of his game. He had the initial deflection on Ramsey's interception and coverage. He had a tackle for loss and run defense. He also had a thump on a pass catch over the middle on one of the most physical plays in pass defense Monday. Long said Monday, Vandenberg is having a hell of a camp. Stock down. Jack Driscoll had two bad snap exchanges between him and Thompson. Both were under center, and it's unclear if they were Driscoll or Thompson's fault. Driscoll does not yet appear primed to elevate himself into a starter role and struggled snapping the ball. But starting center Aaron Brewer also had snapping issues, including another pair of mishaps with Tagovailoa on Monday. There were 4 total Monday. One was recovered by Chop Robinson. And the injury report, Cam Smith was not there today. Anthony Walker, Jonnu Smith, and Calais Campbell were given rest days, and Terron Armstead and cornerback Kendall Fuller were accounted for during team stretch. Terron Armstead's on record saying he's going to be participating tomorrow. 4 botched snaps today. 4 botched snaps. Wow. You got the backup and Jack Driscoll, they're cross-training. He can't snap the football. You got the starter having problems snapping the football. Come on, man. Someone's got to snap the goddamn ball, please. Please. Shout out to Chop for recovering one of those. See, that's why we do this. Grayson Murphy had another good day too, right? That wasn't mentioned in the Miami Herald. That's why we read all these different ones. So, man. And Tagovailoa sounds like he's having another great day for the most part of what he did. I mean, we saw the miss by him and Watt. It was barely. And I love that Zeke Vandenberg is, I'm telling you, man, I'm loving that the Zeke Vandenberg is having stack in the days, baby. Stack in the days. Love it. Shout out to Zeke, man. He's putting in that work. Love it. So here is Pro Football Network and Adam Beasley's practice report. Sloppy day for Mike McDaniel's offense. The Miami Dolphins defense struck back at Monday's training camp after getting the worst of action the day before. Anthony Weaver's group made some plays, but more so, they didn't make the egregious errors that plagued the offense for much of the steamy morning. Humidity and snapping issues, traditions like no other at Dolphins training camp. Monday was rough for new center Aaron Brewer and Tua Tagovailoa, who had 2 botched exchanges Monday. Jack Driscoll, who has also gotten work at center this summer, had his own issues. Twice on Monday, his snaps to Skylar Thompson didn't get to the quarterback. Fumbled exchanges are embarrassing and costly in games for those involved, but in practice, they impact the entire team. They rob the offense and defense of the planned rep. I've become more wise in my coaching years, McDaniel said Sunday. Snap issues used to just trigger me to all in. Now in the process, I still get triggered, but it's really fast because it's part of the process that you have to understand when you have quarterbacks and centers and guards playing with different people at the beginning of the camp and you're using multiple snap counts and you're going against multiple looks. It's something that I'm used to. You wish it didn't happen, but the main thing is you want to see some improvement and development as time goes on. Truth is, however, the offense's issues on Monday weren't limited to the center and quarterback. There were interceptions thrown by Thompson and Mike White. There were overthrows and underthrows. Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle had a miscommunication on the pass. Overall, the timing just seemed off. Better is needed on Tuesday. And then he goes in his injury report. Cam Smith, he's hurt. He's out, etc., etc. Other players who did not... Eric Izakama, we didn't hear this in any other report. He did not participate today. So, Julian Hill, he said he's making a strong case for tight end 3 job, Dolphins tight end 3 job. Hill, who position mate Durham Smythe called perhaps the most physical tight end in the NFL, stuffed Chop Robinson in a pass pro rep. He also had a nifty catch on the sideline. The Dolphins signed a small army of defensive tackles, but definitely don't discount the possibility of returning contributor Sean Hand making the 53 again this year with Campbell Elmonte. Hand had an impactful role in the run game and also beat Patrick Paul for a would-be sack. Stock down with Smythe, Hill, and Jonnu Smith all seemingly ahead of him on the depth chart. Jody Fortson cannot have drops like the bad one he had Monday on a good ball from Thompson. So there you go. Fortson struggling a little bit. We're starting to see why he wasn't able to stick with the roster right now. He's having some issues. So, listen, hey, it is what it is. Eazy-E and Jason nailed it. Eazy-E and Fortson seem like they're falling behind. I'm surprised we haven't heard much from Malik Washington. That's what I'm going to be watching when I go down there because, I know they can't cover every single play, but I would want to see how Malik's moving, et cetera, when I go down there next week. So, would you be opposed to bringing back Connor and have him and Brewer compete for the starter spot? That's not going to happen, brother. Would I be opposed to it? No, but it ain't happening. Either you want to play left guard or it ain't happening. They're not moving Aaron Brewer. They didn't pay Aaron Brewer the money. They just paid him to sit. That's just it. So unless Connor Williams is playing left guard, it's not happening. I don't know what else to say. I'm not trying to, just totally be a Debbie Downer, right? Michelle says, hi, reason I was there again today. Snaps were an issue. Tua pulled Brewer aside to practice snap after the second missed snap. So there you go. We know he'd do that with Connor Williams. Thanks for that info, Michelle. So firsthand knowledge there. Tua, being the leader he is, pulled the center aside and said, listen, we got to fix this. So that's good stuff to hear. Now let's get into Tua Tagovailoa. He discussed the next steps when it comes to winning with Cam Wolfe at camp today. I want to play this clip for y'all.
Something you said yesterday, heavy is the crown. Obviously, you got a lot of money, the highest paid player here, and you think about what's next. And this team has a big mark to achieve, having not won a playoff game in 23 years. What do you do individually to maybe lead that team so we don't talk about that stat when we're here next year?
100%. I think I don't think of myself individually. If I'm thinking of myself individually, I'm thinking of being the passer, the leading passer for the NFL. Yeah. Throwing the most touchdowns, leading in passer rating. That's what I would be thinking. this is a team sport. If we want to do what we want to do, it requires everybody to be on the same page, to do the same thing in, being connected like an accordion,
Yeah.
And so it only works when everything's in sync. And so I think that's where the main focus is with our guys up front, with our guys outside, and all of us being on the same page. The communication aspect is, I think the biggest thing that we need to work on offensively, especially on these road games, these big road games. The communication with our motions, where we need to line up, looking at the clock. Do we have time to change protection? Do we have time to do this? Do we have time to do that? Just all of that is sort of what I think about.
Details.
The details of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, he ain't wrong, right? Especially communication from the head coaches. You got to get the play in quicker, McDaniel. You got to give them time on the clock so they can change the protection, so they can get in their motions. And Michelle brings up the point of Tua today pulled Aaron Brewer to the side after the botched snaps. Again, communication. Right? That's what this is coming down to, communication. And he ain't lying, man. Again, he said something where people come in, Tua is this, Tua is that, Tua can't win. It's funny how wins and losses become a quarterback stat when it comes to Tua, but then when you bring it up with someone else, wins and losses aren't a quarterback stat. But he said it right there. This is a team sport. There are 52 other players on that roster and a coaching staff that need to be held accountable, and that all need to be in sync and on the same page. So, Tua out here spitting facts. He's telling y'all the truth. It's my quarterback. All right. Now, we're talking about Ethan Bonner. Ethan Bonner, could he be the breakout player this year at camp? That's a discussion today. Well, I want to listen to what Jalen Waddle said about Ethan Bonner today after practice. High praise from a top 10 receiver in the NFL.
Man, Bonner probably has had like the craziest jump from, I think, any player from last year, in my opinion. He just seems like a totally different player out there. He's more patient at the line. Maybe it's just a year on his belt. More his patience. He using his long arms. He obviously know he can run, so he can stay hip to hip with anyone. And he's playing with a lot of confidence out there. So I tell EB every day, man, you getting us better.
So when you got Jalen Waddle coming out here and saying that the biggest leap he's seen from a player from last year to where we're at this offseason is Ethan Bonner, man, you got to appreciate that and the work that Ethan Bonner is putting in. Now we can sit here and talk about Fangio and Cam Smith all we want, but the confidence Bonner's gained from the confidence Fangio showed in him is clearly translating to his game right now. I mean, you got to give him his props. Ethan Bonner absolutely having a huge camp when the guys are going up against are coming out here and saying, yeah, that's the biggest jump I've seen in any player this year. Man, we might be okay at corner. Now, obviously, we all want to continue. We want to see a return on investment when it comes to Cam Smith. But, I'll say this before, I'll say it again. I don't care where these players were drafted or or their UDFA status or whatever. Just give me the best players on the football field. And if he's coming around and he's getting this many flowers handed to him and this much hype, man, I'm very intrigued to see what Ethan Bonner does this season. Very, very intrigued. Now, David Long, he was asked about Anthony Weaver and basically the defense. This is what he said. And, very interesting comments he said here because he's kind of alluding to what they were under last year, right?
I think it goes hand in hand, man. I think we all felt the energy, the change, and just how he installed it and how he incorporates the learning aspect of whether it's just the meetings, the environment. It's easier to learn in good environments. Whether it's football or whatever your workspace, it's easy to come in and learn and retain. Once you get a good vibe.
So I mean, Anthony Weaver, we keep hearing from players how the vibe, like David Long said there, is much different, et cetera, et cetera. And now you got him going a little bit more in depth, saying it's much easier to retain information. It's much easier to be involved. It's much easier to basically show up to work when you got a guy who's created a good environment that you want to be around. So listen, props to David Long for telling us exactly how it is under Anthony Weaver. But it sounds like players are super excited to play for Anthony Weaver. Players are super excited to get going in his defense in general. It just sounds like we've got a healthy environment on the defensive side of the ball compared to where we were. So shout out to him for doing that. So let's get into it. Dolphins. There were some Dolphins that have been named to the top 100 players so far, and Tua was announced today. So let's talk about this. So here are the top 100 players that have been announced so far for the NFL top 100 that's coming. They do the video every year, right? So Taron Armstead came in at 67, as you see right there. Jordan Poyer came in at 65. Jalen Waddle came in at 63, which I think is criminally low. Bradley Chubb came in at 62. Raheem Mostert came in at 60. So NFL players think Raheem Mostert's a better player than Jalen Waddle. I don't know about that. Because remember, this is voted on by the players, right? So, Jamar Chase is 45 and Jalen Waddle is 63, right? Do I got to remind people over the last 2 years, do we got to get into this again where, Jalen Waddle has more yards than Jamar Chase over the last 2 years? All right. He averages more yards per reception over the last 2 years. All right. I mean, what are we talking about? The only thing Jamar Chase has more than him is he averages about 4 yards more per game, and he has more receiving touchdowns. But guess what? Over the last 2 years, he has more targets than Jalen Waddle. He has over 50 more targets than Jalen Waddle. So, just saying. Anyways, continuing on here. So you see, there you go, Tua Tagovailoa coming in at 36. There you go, Tua voted the 36th best NFL player. Man, we've come a long way, eh? Remember, and people try to tell you that Tua is not good. So this is what's going to play during the top 100 for Tua. Check this out.
Happy-go-lucky guy. You're never going to see him in a bad mood. Just a joy to be around. Always brightens your mood up, too, so.
Okay, Freddie. Okay.
Even if you might have had a bad day, he's like, all right, it's going to be a good one now.
Went from 82 to 36.
Tua's personality may have been a lot of fun, but once the ball was kicked off, his play was no joke.
Tua's special, man. He's special. He's a franchise guy. He's an elite quarterback. He's young. He hasn't even scratched the surface of what his career is about to become.
Great throw by Tua Tagovailoa. Good protection. Perfect throw.
It feels different having one in the huddle every single game. Like, it's a different approach. you always know you're gonna have a chance. It gives you confidence knowing you're walking into a huddle with a stud.
Yes, Alex.
Looking, fires deep downfield, wide open, Tyreek in stride, touchdown Miami! What a throw by Tua Tagovailoa.
What makes Tua so good is his accuracy. Obviously stands out from anything.
Tua looking, gets it off, down the sideline, Tyreek, touchdown! What a throw!
He throws such a receiver-friendly pass that it's like a handoff, but it's like a 30-yard pass down the field now. It's like an extended handoff.
He's so good at just seeing what the defense is about to do and anticipate it and then throw the ball into a window. And that's probably why he's so accurate.
Back to throw, Tua looking, throws it deep for Tyreek. He's got him! And Tyreek is gone! How many times have we seen it? And it never gets old. We talked about explosive plays, Jimmy. It didn't take long for Tua to find Tyreek.
I know y'all know, but let's not get complacent here, huh? Yep, right here, especially right here, man. Especially right here. Every time we go out there, let's just finish with points. Anyway, I like that.
Tua Dimes. That's his nickname, Tua Dimes. Tua, he just makes every throw look easy.
That's coming from one of the best corners in the game.
So much touch on the ball and so much accuracy. He's picture painting out there for sure.
Just watching film, he was very precise. He was quick with his reads. He was able to dissect the defense and just able to make plays. He had a phenomenal year.
Tua deep down the left sideline. He wants one. He's got it. Touchdown Miami. And what a throw by Tua. Joe, he looked the safety off. Came back 60 yards and the touchdown for Waddle.
You know, Tua, he can make all the throws, obviously. He's not your prototypical quarterback, 6'4", anything like that, but he's a lefty. He could sling the ball around. He's electric, for sure.
Tua let it rip. He throws that on the run, put it right on the money.
He's took leaps this year, and as he continues to progress, he's going to be one of the top for a very long time.
Tua throws it deep downfield, and he's got Tyreek. Wow. Unbelievable. What a throw. My gosh, he put it right on the money.
Just to see where he come from and just where he is now, improving each and every year, he gonna be the man, bro. That's all I'm gonna say. He gotta be top 10.
So Tyreek thinks he's top 10, but you know, the respect from his peers, I mean, jumping all the way from 82 last year to 36, I mean, you know, that's a 46 spot boost for Tua Tagovailoa. And again, I talked about it when he was in front of the podium, to see how far he's come from when he's coming out of Alabama, when they said he would never be the same again. He might never play another game again because of the hip injury, to the concussions, to now leading the league in passing yards. He's led the league in passer rating, top 5 in every major statistical category over the last 2 years. And now viewed as the 36th best player in the NFL, voted on by his peers, and he can only go up from here. He's only going to get better. So next year, when we do this list, mark it, he enters at minimum the top 25. At minimum, the top 25. All right? I'm just saying, because when you look at it, right? All right? Joe Burrow was 39. Matt Stafford was 42. Jared Goff was 48. He was voted better than some of these other guys. Right? Justin Herbert was 75. So he was almost 40 spots higher than Justin Herbert. Kirk Cousins was 81. You know, Aaron Rodgers was 92. Now, Jordan Love was 34. That's a little high for the sample size, but okay. But Tua Tagovailoa, at this rate, he's jumping into the top 25 on this list next season. To start next season, and I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it, man. Can't wait at all. Now, Tyreek Hill. He joined the 99 club for Madden, for all you Madden fans.
Don't judge me, but I've never opened one of these things in my life. So. Okay, let's see what we got.
Tyreek,
Eli Manning here. On behalf of EA Sports and Madden, I want to welcome you to Madden's 99 Club for the first time. Who would have thought, you and me, two of the fastest players in NFL history, would be doing this right now? You're one of the most electrifying players in football, and you proved that again this past season. 119 receptions, 1,800 yards, 21 touchdowns, and a 99 speed rating. To celebrate, we sent you and the 99ers a few gifts. Congrats again. We hope to see you back with a 99 overall next year.
Let's go. That's pretty awesome, man. That is pretty awesome. Coming from the GOAT himself. It's a great day, man. You know, to be able to become part of this club, and always saying that I never want to create a 99 player of myself. So here I am, a 99 that I do not have to spend time on creating. This is me. And I get a controller. Oh, and a necklace. What else? What else they got for me? I'm finna go make everybody jealous with this. That is awesome. First 99 club. This is absolutely the greatest, or the second greatest day of my life. Well, actually the third greatest. I'm Tyreek Hill, and I'm in the Madden 2599 club.
Well, love to see it. Tyreek Hill doing the thing. Listen, say what you want about Madden, but we all know it ain't going to be better than college football 25. Let's be honest here, okay? Let's be honest here, all right? So, you know, it is what it is. I you know, I'll buy it, but you know, because I can play with the Dolphins, but we all know what the deal is. College football, that's where it's at right now. All right? That's where we're at. All right? So, I see where is it? Brian says you better start drinking water now. Listen, my graphic guy was there today, and I said, "Hey man, were you at camp today?" And the first thing he said was like, "Brother, that was ridiculously hot today." So, you know, I heard how hot it was today. Don't worry. I heard it was absolutely brutal. I heard it was just not fun to be around. So, and I did see this too. Finn's Rule says Robbie Chosen told Keyshawn Johnson that Waddle beat Tyreek in a race last season. I heard that too. Yeah, I saw that. And Tua has we watched Tua for 4 years. He's gotten better every year. Like, what are you talking about? What are we talking about? He's literally gotten better every year. If you can't see the fact that Tua has gotten better every year, then, I mean, I don't know what else to say except you may be blind. You may need to go you may be Mr. Magoo, and you might have to go get those eyes checked. I'm just letting you know. Just keeping you posted, right? If that's what the deal is. You know, so if you think Tua has been the same every year over and over, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you. Go get those eyes checked. Go see an optometrist, because, brother, you know, you might have something going on with your retinas, you know? So, anyways, is what it is. I'm excited to get down there next week. Man, only a week away, and I'll be heading down there. I'm heading down there next Monday, so I'll be landing next Monday, and I'll be heading out to join practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then I'll be flying back on Thursday. So I appreciate all of you for coming through. Smash the like button, show some love, subscribe if you're new. Listen, you know, I'm honestly thinking about going and getting that neck fan thing. I don't know. You know, I listen, I love the Heat, but I don't know if I'm ready to die on the football field. You know what I mean? So I don't know if I'm ready to go that far yet with my life. So I got kids I got to get back home to. So I'm definitely, you know, I heard it's Hades level hot out there. So I'm definitely going to try and bring something out there. And I mean, is there a big enough bottle of water you can bring? Finn's Rule says drink coconut water. Ricky Williams swears by that. I'm down. Kevin's going to be there Tuesday and Wednesday. Listen, if you're going to be there next Tuesday and Wednesday why don't you email me, PhinsideTheNFL@gmail.com. If any of y'all want to meet up, we can coordinate something, all right? So, because I'll be around. So, I appreciate all of you for coming through on this Monday, the start of the week. Smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new. I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. And, hey, they're back at it tomorrow. Their off day is Wednesday. So, they're back at it tomorrow. Expect me tomorrow. Until next time, you don't know what time it is. Fins up all day, every day, and we will see y'all on the next one. Have a fantastic evening, everyone.